Hi, everybody. Hello. Good job. Action camera. Okay, so one of the biggest issues that we run into in this business, actually in just about every walk of life, is time management. Trying to fit all of this into our life in certain periods of time to become efficient, etc., etc. One of I wrote down here, it's more essential to success to be consistent than it is to be precise or to be exact. It's better to be consistent. I talk about this all the time. You know, agents will ask me, wow, you know, let me create this perfect week, and I'm going to do these 3 hours today and 3 hours tomorrow and 3 hours of prospecting the next day, and so on and so on. And then when they don't get the 3 hours in and something gets in the way, they throw away the whole day and then the whole week and then the whole month. Anybody ever experienced things like that? Well, if I can't do this, then I'm not going to do that, and the whole thing's a failure. You get started on a business plan. Your goal is to do 240 work days over the next 12 months. And you create this wonderful business plan. And all of a sudden, you know, day one, you're out there. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. You're all excited. You go outside. You're going to come to the office. You're going to be there by 8:30. You've exercised in the morning. Everything is great. You've been jumping up and down. You've been jumping rope backwards and forwards, you know, and doing your calisthenics and your exercise. You go outside and you've got a flat tire. Right? Okay? So then you have to fix your flat tire. You have to get that taken care of. So you don't get started at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. You have to push it back till 10 o'clock. So then the tendency is, well, wait, what do I do? What do I do? Do I catch up and start at 10:30 and always be behind for the day? Or do I just go forward and work from there? So those are some of the things that I wanted to talk about and deal with. What you have run into in your frustration in scheduling, I've run into for the last 40 years. I got to tell you something. Right now, I think I've got it. I'm not perfect at it. There are days where we have issues, but we think we have a pretty decent handle on it. So, as I said, daily consistency is the key to this whole thing. Write this down. The greatest possession that you have. We've talked about that in our business planning. We talk about it almost every Monday in our sales meeting. The greatest possession you have is the 24 hours that you have in front of you. And what you do with those 24 hours is the key to this whole thing. How you're going to spend it. See, you know what's really neat? Is that the whole board has been erased right now. The whole board has been erased. Everyone, your great competitors, all the people that you think of as these great legendary agents, the Karen Bernardis, the Neil Weichels, the Mark Annal, the Scalios, the Barbara and Richards, all of those people that you think of as being great agents, they're all at exactly the same spot you are today. Think about that. Everyone gets to start where? Zero. That's where we're all at. And the question now is, the difference actually, is between them and most of the rest of us, is what they get done in their 24 hours. Because what is consistent is that all of us, every man, every woman, every child, no matter how old, how young, wherever you came from, what country you came from, what language you speak, if you speak language, if you don't speak, doesn't matter. We all have what? The same 24 hours. The difference is what we do in them. That's the difference. That's the key. So, what we want to talk about in the time that we have this morning is that the activities that you need to do in your business plan. I'm going to use a couple of different props. But first of all, the first thing is, and I pass this out first, because this seems to be kind of an overwhelming document, this map program. How do I take this single-spaced page of multiple activities and fit them into a week and still have time to go to the doctor, still have time to take the dog to the vet, still have time for the kids. I'm getting pulled in multiple different directions. Everybody has different things that they have and that they have to work on. So what I did was I took this week and I laid it out in a basic week for you that I'm going to pass out a little bit. And then when you leave here today, you're going to end up, I have this week at a glance set up between now and the end of February. Okay? Planning isn't a day-to-day event. Planning has to be thought out. So write this down, first thing. When you work on your plan for your schedule, family first. When you work on your plan in your schedule, you put your family first. Has there ever been a time where your family commitments and your business commitments collide? Does that ever happen? Where you've set an appointment, you're very excited, you've been working like a dog on a Tuesday in your blitzes, and you got it. You set that appointment, you wrote it down for 6 o'clock tomorrow night, you hang up the phone, you're excited, and then you remember, tomorrow night's PTA meeting. Or I promised the kids that I was going to go to dinner with them. Or I promised my wife or my husband that I was going to spend time with them. And then you run into that stress. So what happens when the family collides with business? What happens is the stress level goes up. So then we get into these highs and lows. Now you got to call your client back, or you have to call your spouse or significant other back, and you have to change the deal. So what we want to do is we want to put family in first. So write down, we have family first. What constitute, that's family / personal. Okay? Family / personal. So what goes in there? So what you're going to do is you're going to go home to your family, your immediate family, your extended family, and you're going to have a conversation with them. Where do you want me over the next month or 2 or 3? My goal now at this point is I try to project out family commitments for a year. Okay? Try to project out family commitments for a year. And I don't get it always perfect in terms of when we're going to take a vacation, but I know that in some time in August or September, our family is going to take a vacation. So I've got to block away some time for that. I know that. I know that during the end of the year that we usually take a week off and try to do something there. So I block that time off. Now, I may be a day off one way or the other, but at least I have it in the plan. Does that make sense? Okay. What else has to go in the plan is other personal commitments. If you gals get your hair done on a regular basis, put it in your schedule. If you get your nails done on a regular basis, put it in your schedule. If you guys go to the dentist, you go to the dentist, and we're supposed to go to the dentist how often? 2 times a year, every 6 months. We're supposed to take our children to the dentist. Here, let me share this thought with you. Moms know this, guys don't get it, okay? But moms have run into this before. As a mom, you don't want to take your kids to the dentist during the school day, right? You want to take them after school or as late in the day as you possibly can. Got it? Okay. So that if that's the case, when I call in to the dentist, what spaces do they generally have available for me? in the morning. They want to give me 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. When are you supposed to be what? Prospecting. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11. So there already is a problem. So if you plan it out 6, 8 months in advance, if you know you're going to go to the dentist, and we're supposed to, and you plan it out in advance, you can get an afternoon appointment. You just ask for an afternoon 3, 4, 5 o'clock appointment. You set it up. So you're not, you see how being in advance on some things that you know are going to help you? You're not going to collide with those things. Okay, so that's the first thing that we're going to put in there. We're going to put family in first. The next thing we're going to lay in is we're going to lay in our business commitments. Business commitments are sales meetings. Business commitments are going to be seminars. They're going to be Mike Ferry events. Business commitments are continuing education. I can't tell you. Every year, I get no less than 5 real estate agents who come to me and are almost with tears. They're getting ready to close a transaction, and their real estate license has expired. Okay? Okay, I don't know if you guys know this or not. I can't pay you if you don't have a real estate license. Okay? I just can't. It's like against the rules, and then if I do, I get in trouble for paying a non-licensed person. You not having a license that's valid, I can't pay you. So here you are. You've known for how long?
4 years.
4 years before your license expires, right? And of course, there's inevitably 5 or 6 of you, not this group, it's somebody else's, that come to me and say, oh, I'm closing the escrow on Friday. I'm working on my continuing education and getting my license renewed, but I don't have a valid license right now. It hasn't been valid for about a week and a half. It won't be valid for another couple weeks, but can you pay me anyway? I can't. But then I ask another question. What were you thinking? This is how you earn a living. This is how you get paid. And you didn't plan ahead. Continuing education comes every 4 years. There's 45 hours you have to do. Plan it in your week, in your month, in your year. April 15th comes every year. At the same time every year, too. It's fascinating. And yet, so let's back up a second. The last 3 weeks of April traditionally are very, very slow. Why? Because the clients are out doing their taxes, right? Wrong. It's because the agents are out doing their taxes and they don't have time to take a client out and show this is the truth. 40 years experience, I see this every year. So what are you doing today? Oh, I got to run to get my taxes done. Well, okay, that's for a couple hours. Yeah, but I'm not ready yet. It's going to take me a week to pull this all together. Do you get what I'm saying? Plan for it. Every year your taxes come on April 15th. So work backwards, however long you need to take to get that put together so you can go and get your taxes done. By the way, did you know that you could file before April 15th? It's just a question. Maybe you didn't know. Okay? So the second part of that is first family. Then we're going to lay in our business commitments. Then the third part that gets laid in here is going to be our prospecting time and our appointment time. And I'm here to tell you that you line out on the schedule when you want to have an appointment, and you create a box for it, and you shoot for, when you're prospecting, putting a name in that box. Do you guys get me?
Yeah.
It's a target. You also know that you worked with your family. You got all your family stuff in here. You worked with your business commitments. You have all your business commitments in there. So now, when you've got this appointment box and you're closing for that appointment, you don't have to worry, wait, did I make a mistake? Do I have something with the kids? Do I have a tax appointment? Do you guys get it? So lay it in like that. So let's do this. All right? So here's kind of what it would look like. Now, let's say your goal, because one of the first things that we need to do is we need to do things for ourselves first. And I think one of the most important thing is doing our exercise. So you're going to exercise probably 3, 4, 5 days a week. Does that make sense? Okay? So we throw in our exercise. And maybe our exercise actually is going to look like that. Okay? So we've got from 6 to 7 o'clock. We're going to exercise. Takes a little time to get to the gym, get back. Maybe it takes you a little longer. You know, maybe it's 7:30. It's a block of time. It includes getting up, getting dressed, getting to the exercise, doing the exercise, getting back to wherever you're supposed to go. Now, some people change at the gym and go to the office. Whatever your routine is your routine. But you block your time in accordingly. Everybody with me? Yes. All right. So now, we have some family commitments. So let's say that we have a family commitment. Maybe you do Bible study. Maybe you do something, you have to do something this week with the children, etc. So let's put this in here. Maybe at, say, 6 o'clock, you need to be home on Monday. And maybe you need to be home at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And that becomes some family time. And then on Friday afternoon, maybe you want to leave the office by 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you lay that in. See what's going on here, everybody? We're starting to lay things in for our week. All right? So what other things do we have that might be family that might come into play here? How about Thursday night? Maybe we have something that goes on at 7:30 at the school, okay, with the kids. So we lay that in there. So now we've got some exercise in here. We have some family time in here, okay? Maybe you guys want to eat. Do you like eating? I'm just curious. Okay, I want you to know that this is not one big taco. Okay, this is something that happens over a constant, never-ending time. All right? But let's say that you want to set yourself up where you're going to have lunch basically from 12 to 1 most days. So you lay that in there. You guys following me? Okay. I did this kind of a board and this kind of a setup because I wanted to bring it down to this isn't difficult. This isn't hard. Now I understand this only represents 1 week. But what you do is you can do something like this every week. Now, there is no perfect week. This is hugely important. And I love Mike Ferry to death. All right? I think a lot of the reason I am where I am today, 40 years later, is because I followed his lead. But he does say one thing, create a perfect week and then follow it. The issue is, there really is not a perfect week. This week, I don't have any family commitments. Next week, I have family commitments. The following week, I have a couple of family commitments. The following week, I don't have any family commitments, but I have a business commitment. Does that make sense? Every week is different, but if you line it out, by the end of the year, you still were able to work 240 work days. Does that make sense? Yes. And that's all we're trying to accomplish here. So, we laid that in there. All right, so now on Monday we have a sales meeting, right? Say yes. Yes. All right, and the sales meeting is from 9 to 10 o'clock. What else do we do in the morning on Monday morning? We do some role play, which comes in here. So we show up for our role play. So that means we go exercise. We do what we're supposed to do. Maybe we get our kids to school. We leave the house, and we're here at the office at 8:30. 8:30 to 9 o'clock, we role play. From 9 to 10 o'clock, we have a sales meeting. Our day's starting to take shape, isn't it? Okay, so I don't have another sales meeting during the week. I do like to role play 4 days a week. In this particular case, it's 5 days. So I'll just run that over because I'm short on magnets. Okay, questions on anything we covered so far? Do you see how this is starting to shape up? Okay? All right, so now we have the sales meeting there. Now, what are we supposed to do every day? A what?
CrossFit.
5, 10. Let's just make it really easy. 5 expires at the door. Preview 5 houses, and go see and knock on 10 doors around each one. We should do this contest. At the end of the week, the person that does the most gets entered into a contest. I'm going to have almost no one entered into the contest. I don't understand you guys. I was coaching somebody earlier today. I will leave the name nameless. And they were doing a great job on expireds. They were hitting expireds like crazy, hitting the expireds. But they weren't hitting any previews. What the hell's that about? The program is what?
5, 10.
Okay, not 5 something. 10. And I wasn't even getting the 10. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Let's back up. If you did a 5, 5, 10, 240 days this year, would you make some money?
Yes.
So anyone that believes they wouldn't make money doing that? Why won't you do that for 200 days? Give me 200 days. Don't give me 240. I'm willing to settle. I'm compromising. That makes sense? All right, so what else do we need to put up here? We need so we have the sales meeting. So let's go to preview, expireds, and doors. So we're out at 10. So from 10:30 to 11:30, see we got? We go have lunch. We come back at 1 o'clock. So from 1 to 3 on that day, we go here. So from 1 to 3 o'clock, we've got that. All right? Everybody with me? Yeah.
The 5, 5, 10, on average, how long do you think it should take?
Who's done a 5, 5, 10? How long does it take?
4 hours.
4 hours, 3 hours,
6.
tennis shoes, 6 hours. So we have between 3 hours and 6 hours. Okay, depends on how fast you walk, the distance between the doors, who you're talking to, how focused you are on the project. But that's what I hear, between 3 and 6 hours. So somebody says to me, well, I don't want to do that for 6 hours. Well, let me ask you, write this down. What else do you have to do? What else do you have to do? Okay, so we've got our expireds and previews here. We got our expireds and previews here. Now, write this down. You must go on an appointment to make money in this business. You must go on an appointment, buyer appointment or seller appointment, to make money. So we have got to have in our week, what? We have to have appointments in the week. So that at the end of the week, we at least have a target to go on some appointments. If you don't go on an appointment, can you make money in this business?
No.
Anybody? No. Even if it's a phone appointment, you get a phone appointment, the guy says, I want a list, or the gal says, I want a list with you, it's still an appointment, right? Maybe it's not face-to-face, but it's an appointment. So if you want to take 2 listings a month, then it takes 2 appointments to get 1 listing, and you want to get 2 listings in the month, how many appointments do you need to go on? You need to go on 4 appointments for the month. If you want to get 2 appointments, if you want to get 1 listing a week, how many appointments do you need to go on that week to get a listing? 2. If you don't go on 2, are you really going to get at least 1 listing? No. Probably not. Now, you might go on a listing appointment and you might get it, but the percentages aren't with you. Get it? So, you got to put your appointments in. So let's go on an appointment Monday night. Okay? We'll go out, and this whole period of time, the way I've got it slated is, I wrote down here in the calendar I prepared for you, between 3 and 4 o'clock, you prepare for your appointment. Okay? Now, preparing for the appointment could be doing the paperwork. Preparing for the appointment could be doing the paperwork and driving to the property. And let me tell you something. If you drive to the property and you go to the property without driving the neighborhood, you're making a giant mistake. A giant mistake. Because something inevitably got listed this morning or last night or this afternoon, and some agent put a sign in the property. I guarantee you that seller knows about it, because when they were driving home, they saw the sign. And if you don't know about it and you don't have an answer, how professional are you going to look? Give yourself some time to drive the neighborhood 3-4 blocks before you go to that listing. Before you go to that listing appointment. Questions on what we've covered so far? Okay? Is this tough? I see a lot of you are like bored. It's like, this is so simple. Why am I here? Okay, because you got to do this. You got to take some time. Okay? You do have to sit down and you do have to take some time. So it doesn't happen just in a split second. And there's conversations, and there's family conversations that have to go into this. Example, a few of you didn't check the calendar for when the Mike Ferry one-on-one retreat is, and booked the vacation at the same time the retreat is. Could have been moved, but because you didn't consult a calendar back in November and December when you booked the trip, so now you have a conflict. That happens. But if you really wanted to go to the one-on-one, then that's one of the things that you would check. All right? So now you've got the appointment there. So let's put another appointment in on Wednesday. We can go a little bit later there. So on Tuesday, what do? Tuesday morning, we come in and we role play, we exercise, we role play. Now, what happens on Tuesdays here in Walnut? So we do our phone blitz, okay? So our phone blitz starts at 9 o'clock. And our phone blitz would go like that. I would not set an appointment on Tuesday afternoon or late evening. Okay? Why? Talk to me. Come on, guys. Wake up. You've been prospecting. What else? Why else? My water here. Well, you could have a hot lead, but probably not that hot. Here's the situation. One of the reasons we don't get listings is we're out of energy. We're tired. Okay? We're just plain tired. You have to manage your exercise also. Okay, you got up at 6 o'clock in the morning. You've been blasting pretty darn hard all day long, I hope. And then at 6:30, 7 o'clock, you go on a listing appointment. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. You can set an appointment here. You're going to set an appointment here. You should be able to manage your time and say, you know what, I already have a commitment here on Tuesday night. Can we set it for Monday, or can we set it for Wednesday? Or I'm going to give you another couple of options here. See what I'm talking about? Manage your time along with, that's part of scheduling. It's part of scheduling. Go home, relax. You've hopefully talked to a lot of people here, set a lot of appointments, talked to a lot of leads. You need your rest. So that's one of the things I don't think we give ourselves enough of, okay, is rest. You've got to sharpen the blade. You know, there's an old parable about two lumberjacks, and this was way in the woods, and there was giant trees that they were cutting down, and two very, very big guys were out there, and they got into this contest. So the Sunday came for the big contest, and they've got their axes, and they're thrown over their shoulders, and they're just walking in there, and they're going to go chop down these trees. So they got tree A, tree B, and the judge says, ready, set, go. And the first guy, the big burly guy, gets in there and he starts whacking away really fast. And the other guy, he starts sharpening his blade. He's sharpening his blade. He's sharpening his blade. The other guy is whacking away. A lot of energy, a lot of things are going in there. The other guy goes up, he goes whack, whack. Takes some good hunks out of there because he's got a sharp blade. Takes 4 or 5 whacks, starts sharpening the blade again. The other guy sees this, says, oh, I got this guy, and he starts hitting harder. What's happening to his blade? It's starting to get dull. So every time he hits, he's having to hit harder. Sweat's coming off of this guy. He is really, but he says, I got this guy beat because he's sharpening his blade. He's sharp, and he goes whack, whack, and he takes bigger chunks out of it because his blade's so sharp, goes in deep, cuts it out. And this guy's over here, says, well, I got this guy, I got him. And he goes whack, whack, whack. And he's got this blade that's like all messed up at the end. And sure enough, the guy that was sharpening his blade goes one last time, and the tree falls. This guy's over here sweating. He's just a mess. You need to take time to sharpen your blade. That's time, that's energy, that's skills, that's scripts. Just hitting the tree with what turned out in the end to be a baseball bat because it had dulled so, that doesn't chop any trees down, does it? That makes sense? So you got to take some time. Don't do this to yourself where you're working all night. Okay, so on Wednesday, maybe we don't exercise in the morning. We come in and role play, and we go out, and we're going to do our preview and expireds. Okay? So we start at 9, and that should just go down like that. And the same thing on Wednesday in the afternoon, and that probably goes down like that. You're done here, you're preparing for your appointment, and then you're going to your appointment. So now, the way I have it calculated, on Monday, write this down. On Monday, I prospected an hour and a half in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. How much is that? That's 3.5, right? And I went on one appointment. Pretty darn good day. On Tuesday, I prospected 7 hours, no appointments. So now in 2 days, how many hours of prospecting do I have? 10.5. On Wednesday, I prospect 3 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. It's 5. So now I'm at 15 and a half? I'm at 15 and a half hours, and I do a second appointment. So by Wednesday, I got 15 and a half hours in 3 days of prospecting, previewing, door knocking, expireds, and set time for 2 appointments. Pretty darn good, huh? Does this make sense? This is how you lay out your week, ladies and gentlemen. This is as difficult as it gets. No more difficult than that. On Thursday, what do we do Thursday morning? Thursday morning, we have our door knock blitz, right? So now we've got our door knock blitz. We go eat, and in the afternoon, we're going to set some time for, we have an advanced script class here. Oops. On Thursday afternoon at 1:30, we have an advanced script class. We also have one over here in the phone blitz from 1 to 2. So that kind of goes in there too. Okay? So you just lay these things in. Comes down here, you got your meal, you got your advanced scripts. We're going to do expireds, previewing property and doors for the rest of the afternoon. And on Thursday, I wrote in here that at 5 o'clock, we'd have another appointment. So we would do another appointment in here. And then Thursday night, we would be with our family. On Friday, I don't set up any appointments in the afternoon. It's 5 o'clock, we're going to go. It's family. Or date night. Okay, ladies, don't listen. Guys, date night. Here's the rules. Here's the rules. You set up the date night with your spouse. They can cancel, you can't. Spouse can cancel, you can't. Okay, guys?
When are we doing this?
It's up to you, Richard. Any one of those 7, you choose. In fact, here, I'll just give you one. Here, you can have one of these. You can put it in anytime you want. Okay? I'm telling you. Family harmony. Family first. Guys. Especially the guys, because gals, you're going to make sure that this happens. Okay?
Sure.
Guys. Set it up. They can cancel. Kids, not feeling well, conflict they forgot about, doesn't matter. They can cancel. You can't. Just don't. Because in the year 2028, 20 years from now, your spouse is going to remember you canceled. And you're going to say, Neil told me not to cancel.
You should have emailed something forward that to me.
Guys, don't cancel. Okay? So we have Friday night. We could call it a family night. We could call it date night. We can do whatever you guys want to do there. And so in the morning, we do our phone prospecting here. We have lunch again, which goes on there. And then in the afternoon, we're going to do our preview and expireds, which we'll call door blitz because I don't have any more of those. And then we're going to go home. Spend this time with the family. Leave at 4 o'clock. I mean, you don't have to cut your day off at 5 o'clock. Leave at 4 o'clock. It's okay. But go home. By the way, this is just good business. I tell you not to be late for an appointment, right? Say yes.
Yes.
But if you tell your family, I'll be home at 4 o'clock, doesn't mean you have the right to come home at 4:30. Do you hear me? That's guy and gal. Don't do that to the family. So, which means to get home at 4:30, you might have to leave the office at 4 o'clock. It's just the way it is. but you walk in the door when you said you were going to. Kids, family, spouses, biggest problem. The issue is we don't have credibility. We tend not to have credibility with our clients because immediately we tell them we're going to do something and we don't do it. Okay? Well, we've been doing that with our family all along. You know, we say, hey, we're going to go to Disneyland this Saturday. Okay? Great. And then Saturday comes and you have a showing appointment. You don't go. Okay? Don't do that to your family. Okay? When you're with the family, it's the family. When you're at work, be at work. Don't be stressing when you're at work that you should be with your family because you didn't do what you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do it. The same rule applies over here. When you're at work, darn it, work. Do what you're supposed to do. Do your 5-5-10s. Get those done. Show up at the script classes. Show up at all the phone blitzes. Do those things so that when you're at home, you can be where? Home. Get it? And your stress level goes from here down to here. It's not perfect. You're going to have days. Things are going to happen. You're going to run into cars that break and clients that do weird stuff. And, you know, it just happens. That happens. But you can really manage most of it. So, and then it depends on what you want to do with your Saturdays and Sundays. I believe this program is set up for an appointment on Saturday. Where's my appointments at, everybody? Am I out of them here?
No.
Should be one more, yeah. So I would set up an appointment here on Saturday morning. I probably wouldn't role play here. I would probably do this. I would set up for my appointment, and then I might do some phone blitzing, some door knocking, and then the rest of the day I would be with the family on a Saturday. And then the plan calls for working every other Sunday, certainly in the beginning. Certainly to get the situation going. So you're going to work every other Sunday. You're either going to do an open house, you're going to prospect, or you're going to preview property, preview expires, and door knock. Any one of the three every other Sunday. So that you really have every other week a day and a half off. You get off a little bit earlier on a Friday night. Hey, is this a terrible schedule? Come on. Help me here. I mean, do you believe if you worked a schedule that looks something like this, that you could make a lot more money?
Yes.
So, questions? Go ahead.
Approximate number of hours you feel we should prospect during the week and approximate number of hours you feel like minimum then that we should door knock for.
Okay, again, I would look at it more from the year. Because 1 week, for instance, next week, we're at the one-on-one. So if I said to you, you have to prospect and do 200 contacts every week, next week you're not doing 200 contacts. Okay? Next week you're going to have 2 work days instead of 5 or 6 work days. Does that make sense? Okay, so...
How about idea?
No, I look at it from the year. Okay? How many days are you going to work next year? 204. Let's do this. Turn your paper over. Okay? I have a couple minutes here. Because I kind of want you to see where I get 240 days from. Maybe that'll help in this concept. All right? So first of all, how many weeks vacation would you like to take ideally next year, in the year 2012? Okay? 6. Okay, 4, 6, 2. So I'm going to just put down, for me, 2 weeks. Okay? 14 days. I'm going to write that down. So bear with me just for this conversation. So that's question 1. If yours is 6 weeks, write 6 weeks down. But I'm going to walk me through this. All right, let me walk you through this. So we got 2 weeks for that. All right. So now, how many Mike Ferry events will you probably go to over the next 12 months? You've got probably 4. You've got the Superstar Retreat, the one-on-one retreat. You have productivity school and maybe a sales mastery school or something like that. Now, the way I count time off is I don't count the day I'm leaving as a work day, because I'm not going to really be doing all the things I'm normally supposed to be doing the day I leave for an event. And I don't usually count the day I come back, because I don't usually just walk right into my activities. It usually takes a day or so to land, and then you walk into your activities. That's real world. So when I talk about a Mike Ferry event, I really talk about a week off. Okay, you guys with me? All right, so we're going to have 4 weeks off for Mike Ferry events. Now, let's talk about holidays. Most people take a holiday off. Thanksgiving off, 4th of July off, Memorial Day off, Labor Day off. Some of those days are 2 days, like Thanksgiving. You have Christmas, you have New Year's. Those days you take off. Generally speaking, the way I like to figure it is that's usually 2 weeks out of the year. So write down 2 more weeks. Okay? So now we have 2 more weeks. So now, let me ask you the other question here. How many times a month do you physically come to work, but your brain's not with you?
Every day.
Not every day. Come on. Couple days a month, 1 day a month, 5 days a month. What do you think?
Maybe 1 day.
If you said, you got 20 work days typically in a month. If you said 2 work days, that's probably right. Out of 20 work days, there's got to be 2 days, hopefully not together, where you showed up, but it just isn't happening. You're not hitting all the stuff. You're making calls and you're not there. Okay? So 2 times 12 is 24, right? It's 24 days. That's 4 weeks. It's real. That's real. That's real 4 weeks. So write down 4 weeks. So now add it up. I got 4, 6, I got 10, I got 12 weeks. Is everybody with me? You got 52 weeks in the year, right? Minus 12, that means I got 40 weeks. So if I got 40 weeks times 5 days a week, that's 200 work days. See how that works? See how that goes? So maybe my weeks are a little bit more than yours. Maybe instead of taking 2 weeks off, you're only going to take 1 week off. I get that. Maybe you don't think you would have 4 weeks where your brain doesn't show up. I get that. That's how it works for me. So you would have somewhere between 200 and 240 work days, or 40 weeks working like this. If you did 40 weeks like this, think about it. You're going to see you're going to preview 5 houses for 40 weeks, 5 houses a day. So that's 25 at the end of the week. And you're going to do that for 40 weeks. So that's 1,000 houses you're going to preview. 40 weeks. If you preview and go see 5 expireds a day, 5 days a week, and you do that for 40 weeks, you multiply that out, how many expireds is that in the year? It's 1,000. That's 1,000 expireds. I'm going to see 1,000 expireds, and I'm going to preview 1,000 properties. Now that's 2,000 properties that I'm going to see. If I do 10 doors around each one, that means I'm going to end up door knocking 20,000 doors in 40 weeks working this plan. That's my schedule. Family first. Lay your business in second. Put your schedule in third. And do that for 40 weeks. If you talk to, now, if you did that, would you make some money?
Yes.
Okay? Other questions? Go ahead.
And you were saying you actually put out something, but I don't think you I didn't hear it. If you had something come up with that flat tire in the morning, do you start the day from the beginning, or do you start from where you're at?
Great question. The question is, I get up, I exercise, I do what I'm supposed to do, I get into my car, and I turn the key, and the car doesn't start. What do I do? Okay, it's by the time the tow company comes, fixes the car, and gets me back on the road, it's probably 10 o'clock in the morning. So the question is, do I go back to the beginning, or 9:30, and start the day, or do I continue on? The answer is, you go to the next activity and move on. Get it? Don't go backwards. Don't make it up. But this is why, listen to me, this is why you have to do what you're supposed to do on the days you're supposed to do it. Because there are going to be days you are going to have a flat tire. You have no control over it. There are days where your kids are going to be sick and you're not going to have control over it. You're going to have to stay home with them or get them to the doctor. There are days when your tire is going to be flat and you're not going to have control over it. That's why you have to work every work day you're supposed to. Because if you didn't, you can see where you'd start losing some days and start to lose some momentum. Okay? So you go to the next point in your calendar. Great question. Okay, any others?
Hi, I'm new at this, so I have a question. So let's say Monday afternoon you do have an appointment and you get the listing, for example. And then Tuesday morning, you're obligated to phone list, this is what you've set for yourself, and role play and do all the things we do on Tuesdays. But that person got transferred and need their house on the market in the morning, let's just say devil's advocate, they have to have it first thing. So you've got to get it in the MLS, get the flyers made, get the property profile, you know, get the, I mean, you know what I mean, all the things you do once you have a new listing. Obviously you want to please that client, and then, but I also need to hit my 5-5-10 and do my Tuesday role playing and everything else. Where does that all come in, plus my housework and everything?
Plus your housework.
And my laundry.
Yeah, no, well, you're, okay. But see, the housework and laundry already got figured in. Okay? Now, so this is a great question. The question is, all right, I did what I was supposed to do. Monday afternoon, I had this appointment. I took a listing. All right? That's why when you take the listing, you get everything from the client right then. And take a camera with you and take pictures. Now, you may not be able to take them all. I get it, because it's nighttime. But you can take enough photos and get it into the MLS. Maybe on your way to exercise or on your way to role play the next morning, you swing by the property, take another photo. This is why I don't want you taking listings in outer Mongolia, okay? See what happens, that works if it's in your general market, wherever your general market is. But if you're taking a listing in Fontana and you live in El Monte, you can't easily swing by that house, take a photo of the front of the property so you can get it loaded up so that you can let advertising know that you've got the property. Okay? By the way, how long does it take to put a property in the MLS? 7, 12, 50, 30 minutes. It's not long. Okay, and you are not in the flyer business. Okay? Nobody should ever do a flyer again. Shame on you. Find somebody, a lot of 12-year-olds out there needing money right now, and they guarantee they do flyers better than you. Okay, there are companies out there. You know what? You're in business. If it costs you 25 or 50 bucks to get a flyer made, then get it made. We're in business. Your job isn't to make the flyer. So now, all you have to do is input it. 30 minutes, you took a couple of photos, you got all the disclosures done at the property. Now remember, if you do enough appointments, you get this and you work a little faster. If you're only doing one listing appointment every other month, I get it, it could take longer. Okay, because you're not used to the flow. Does this make sense? Does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's where it's at. Now, another piece of information. How many really, if that happens, how many overpriced listings can you take doing that? How many people who are hugely demanding can you work with like that? Won't they be getting in the way of you earning a living? Does that make sense? See, the reason we take overpriced listings, way overpriced listings, the reason that we take listings at lower commissions, which by the way, if you take it at a lower commission, not only are you jeopardizing you earning money, but you're also making a negative impact on the marketplace with getting that property sold. Because if it comes out at 2%, or it comes out at 2.5% or 3%, which one's more likely to sell, everything else being equal? The 2.5 or the 3, right? The agents, let's face it, be honest with your seller. Hey, bottom line is, you want to save the money and they want to make money. So we need to entice them to come to your house to pay this ridiculous price you're asking. Okay? So how many overpriced listings do you really want to take? The reason you'll take them is because you don't want to prospect. You don't want to do a 5-5-10. Okay? Because you don't want to do that. So anyway, you have to be careful here. All right? No more flyers. Don't do them. There's plenty of flyer companies out there, plenty of people that will help you do flyers. All right? Save yourself. How long does it take to do a flyer?
10 minutes.
You should know the answer. Okay, good question. Other questions? Other questions? Questions? Go ahead.
On the administrative work, and I mean,
Good question.
even planning and
Sorry?
even planning your week or stuff like that, reviewing your goals. When do you do that?
Well, okay, good question. So, it really doesn't take long to review our goals, truthfully, as if we're doing them on a regular basis. We do our affirmations in the morning, when you exercise, when you get up. By the way, did you guys know it's okay to get up a half an hour earlier? No, you think I'm kidding. There's two things I learned in life. It's okay to pay your credit card off every single month and not carry a balance. Did you guys know that? No. It's really good, okay? And the other thing is, it's okay to get up a half an hour earlier. Your life, in terms of administration, in terms of script and dialogue, etc., changes dramatically in that extra half an hour in the morning. Most top agents, most legendary agents, ask them what time they get up. In fact, great question for the retreat. Ask people what time, especially the ones doing more volume than most of us, ask them what time they get up in the morning. I think you'll find it very interesting. The majority of them are up before 5 o'clock in the morning, which means they go to sleep before 11 o'clock at night. How's that? You guys can tape record Letterman. You don't have to watch it when it comes on. Okay. Does that help a little bit?
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. By the way, on your transactions, most of you use a TC or have an assistant. Don't ever do your own transaction again. I don't care if it went into escrow today and closes tomorrow. Turn everything over to the TC and walk away from it. You're being cheap for the $175, okay? And it's costing you time, effort, and money, and it's on your mind. And you always forget something. They do 60, 70 files a month. Who's better at their job? You that do one once in a while, or them who are doing 60 or 70 every day? Does that make sense? Don't do it. So now you're never going to do another flyer, okay, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're never going to TC your own file under any circumstances. Just get out of it. Oh, but Neil, I don't want to let go of control. You don't have any control anyway. Go get another deal. Go get another lead. Go get another listing. Okay? Good questions. Okay, go ahead.
I have an issue with every other Sunday. If you work really, really hard 6 days a week, why should you sprinkle in the Sunday?
You don't have to. Okay? I think that's fine. It's your plan. It's your schedule, not mine. I'm just laying something out, that could work for some people. Personally, I don't think you should work a Sunday. I think you should only work a half a Saturday, and I think that you should take off early 1 day a week. But sometimes some people need to ramp up before they can get to that point. Okay? But for you, don't mess with success. Keep doing what